Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Co-op Podcast, episode 163. I'm your host, Richard Bailey Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Gary Swaby. What's up, Gary?
Hey, what's good? Good to be here for another week. What's up, Rich?
What's up? And we also have, returning for today's show, Mr. Charles Singletary. What's up, Mr. Singletary?
What is up, everybody? It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back on the co-op.
Absolutely. We are glad to have you back on the co-op. So,
Appreciate it.
Before we jump into what we've been playing, I'm going to give you the opportunity to let people know what you've been up to.
Two main things. First off, I've been working on a book with David Jagno, who Coalition people will know as well, called Going Indie, or a series of books, so that's happening. And also on a YouTube channel that me and a couple people here in San Antonio, Texas, started called Not For Critics Network, the number 4. You can just hit the YouTube search for that to check it out. But I've been working on that stuff. We have a pop culture podcast. We have gameplays. Comedy sketches are coming this week, and we have a new show that's going to start coming out this week too, probably. So, yeah, man, that's what I've been doing.
Sounds good. Now, we didn't have this discussion while before we started recording, but I have seen some of the stuff you guys have been doing, and I think it's pretty entertaining, so,
Word. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
A bunch of goofballs in one room.
Yeah, absolutely. Very entertaining, so, you guys should definitely check that out when you get a chance.
Yes, indeed.
So, we'll go on to now, I guess we're going to talk about what we have been playing. So how about you let us know what you've been playing first, Charles?
Oh, man. I played a little bit of Doom for the first time. Like, I'm not a giant Doom fan. But I respect it. I understand the appeal. And then I got my hands on this new Doom, and I'm like, yo, this shit is dope. Like, they captured the spirit of the old game, and they amped it up like by 100. Like, it's really cool. It's pretty funny with some of the things that they do. It's pretty cool. Also, I beat Uncharted 4 recently. I wrote a review for that. I haven't published it yet, but ultimately I was kind of underwhelmed by Uncharted 4. It was some cool elements to it, but I felt like it didn't feel like the last game. You know what I'm saying? So that I was playing Pillars of Eternity on PC. Like, I feel like every time I'm on the co-op, I'm talking about that game. But I still play that every now and then. I'm back in Elite Dangerous, Space Sim. That's really dope. I think that's about it. Like, I guess this is something that y'all kind of just learned today. Even though I did get to play Uncharted, I played Uncharted on a friend's PS4. I am now only on PC. That's the only place you're going to see me play stuff. So, yeah, like I might get a PS4 Neo early next year, basically for Gran Turismo. That's like the only exclusive. Oh, well, no, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like that and Gran Turismo would be the things that I would absolutely need. I'm definitely going to have one by the time like Shenmue or something comes out. So, well, actually, no, I can play it on PC. I don't know, man. Like, there's not a lot of games that I just absolutely have to have for PlayStation anymore. So, I don't know. And playing Uncharted did not make me regret my decision at all. So, yeah, PC for life.
Wow. Good to see. Good to see someone else going PC, man. Well, you already been PC, but just the fact that you've gone fully PC, like it's cool to see.
Yeah, I was splitting time before, but we all in there.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that I think that Uncharted 4 statement is rather shocking, so I look forward to seeing what people will say about that. Yeah, because I thought Uncharted, that's a console seller, so yeah, we'll see what they say about that.
I don't think it'll be too pleasant, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, how about you, Gary? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so going back to Uncharted, I've been playing Uncharted 4, of course. It's interesting that Charles says that actually. I'm not too far in at the moment. I just got past the level in Scotland where they go into the cave and the cathedral and all that stuff. And I've got to the level where I guess they introduced the Jeep vehicle, but I haven't played through the level yet. But so far, I'm I'm amazed with the game on a technical level because it looks really good, and like just the graphics and the animation and the physics and everything, like it's really well done in that regard. As far as the story, it really is a lot slower than the previous games. Like when you compare it to Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 and even Uncharted 1, like it's a very slow-paced story. And while you're playing these levels, like not much is going on. I mean, I can only speak on what I've played so far. I don't know if it changes after that, but so far it feels a lot slower than the previous games. And like while you're playing it, I can see how it can get boring for some people because it's like you have two characters there, Drake and his brother, but not that much conversation is going on between them during the levels. Like sometimes they'll say comments to each other here and there, or like if you interact with something, they'll say something, but like there's not too much going on there, and it's just like there's too many spaces where it's just empty. It just feels empty, like nothing's really happening, and you just have to proceed and do some more climbing and climb. There's a lot of climbing in this game, I'll say that. But I'm still intrigued to see where it goes, because maybe it picks up, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but I am at this point, I really am intrigued to see what happens next. So I'm going to keep playing and find out, but it's too early for me to say something along the lines of what Charles said. But we'll see what happens. Have you beat the game yet, Rich?
I have not. I mean, I'll talk a little bit of stuff after. I'm gonna let you finish first. So, what else you been playing, or was that pretty much it?
I actually had I wanted to ask Charles. Actually, does it actually pick up after a certain point? Like, does it get more action orientated, or is it just like climbing and puzzle and a little bit of action at the end of the level?
I think it does get more interesting. The action and climbing and everything does change a little bit. Later on, there's an added thing that you get that helps you with climbing certain kinds of areas. But the main thing that improves is who you're with, honestly, because one of my big problems with the game is I don't give a shit about his brother whatsoever. Like, I made jokes about it before, where like, is his brother? Like, we dealt with 3 games, and
yeah, I
this
found
is the
that.
first set. Yeah, like,
because the thing is, in Uncharted 3, at the start of that game, you're playing young Drake or whatever. So why isn't he ever referenced like during that point?
Exactly. I'm like, you tack this shit on, and then it's like, he's not even like interesting. He's not as interesting. Like, he's not, cool as the other side of the pillow, like Sully, as adventures as Elena is, or playing off of that relationship with Elena. Like, it's not entertaining. I don't care about their past very much. So when they're together and they're saying their comments, I don't care. And there's a part where you're with Elena, and it's my favorite part of the game. When you're with just her, it's fantastic. And there is a part where you're with all of them, Sully, Sam, and Elena, and that is better. But it's better because of the banter with Sully and Elena added into it. There's decent conversations between Sully and Sam, which is kind of cool, but Sam's just not interesting. And to have your whole 4th game centered on his presence, you fucking lost me on that. So you'll enjoy the final chapters, mainly because of the backstory on the pirates that you're chasing down. Like, the treasure you're looking for, that story is brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. All right, cool. Besides that, I've been playing a ton of Overwatch. I've got a review on the site right now, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. All I've got to really say about the game is I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving it so far. I'm quite addicted to it. So Yeah, it's definitely a cool game. In terms of value, I can understand, people being hesitant to check it out because, like, I can't lie, there's really not that much content. But for me, even though there's a lack of content currently, the fun factor is still there in abundance. So that's what's
That's
keeping
all
me.
that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters for me, really. So, you know.
I hear you. I mean, I've said my piece about games that seem like they should have been in that free to play format, but I also ate crow on Overwatch once I finally played it. I was like, yo, this is dope. And the fact that all the characters are unlocked already and all that stuff, like, it made it worth it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I got the game free so that I could review it, but just to make up for that, I bought a lot of loot boxes and stuff. So, you know, I definitely contributed to the game, so I can still talk about it as if I bought it, I guess.
Right, I get you.
And I feel like the content it's enough there to warrant a purchase, in my personal opinion. But obviously, every gamer is different, so there might be some people who might not see that value proposition there. So I can understand that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing.
All right. I actually want to respond to what you just said about Overwatch. I think we already said this in last week's show, but I believe that if there was a deal with the PC version, I know you said there was a $40 PC version. I don't know if that's US also, or is that only UK?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure, actually, but I know it's there's an echo. So I don't know where it's
Hold
coming
on a second. Keep talking.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I'm not sure if it's region specific or if it's just a PC deal, but there was in the UK there was a £30 edition, and then there was a £45 edition, which is like the full game, and you get some special skins and stuff. And with the £30 edition, you just get like basic level skins, I guess. You just get the core game without the special skins and stuff. So there's basically different tiers you could buy, two different tiers, along with the collector's edition as well. But I'm not sure if that's region specific or not. Maybe Charles knows. I don't know.
I do not know, honestly.
Okay.
I think the echo is gone now. Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gone.
All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
I guess Sony fixes everything, right?
Yes, they do. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I just asked because yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the price anymore because I have been watching streams over the last couple of days, and what I get from it is that all of the characters, it takes skill to really master the character, so that also adds to the replay value as well. If you're trying to get familiar with certain characters and start to get better as those characters, so I'm not going to be too harsh on the game anymore because I was harsh on it last week. But yeah, I eventually do plan to try it out. I played the beta, and even when I played the beta, I already said, yeah, this game is fantastic. It's a hell of a lot better than Battleborn. But again,
That's so disappointing.
that's a yeah. I mean, hey, they should have just made Borderlands 3, but I guess they said no. We'll hold that out for later. But in terms of what I've been playing, I like to wish that I could say I've been playing Uncharted 4, but no, I mean, I've been very busy. But from what I played so far of Uncharted, I do have to agree with what you guys said about the brother just coming out of nowhere. This guy wasn't mentioned in any of the previous games, so that's a little, and I think it is quite refreshing to hear that there are at least some criticisms, because I think a lot of people just instantly said this is the best game that has been out this whole generation, even though
Hell no.
Let's see.
Hell no.
Oh well, hey, listen, hey, and I guess it's great to hear that there are some criticisms, but I haven't finished it yet. I'm about halfway there. I just got the Jeep, so I believe that's chapter 10. So I have quite a bit of ways to go.
Yeah, you got about 13 more chapters, I think.
Oh, okay, all right. So I'll try to put a dent in that later on today. But yeah, I've still been playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I don't know how I've gone all these weeks still playing this game, but I'm just trying to complete it. You know, get everything that's in the game. I'm very close to basically, I'm almost there. So, as I said before, the game is great, still fun, a lot of fun. I do see that the game has a few things that are a bit annoying. Some of the missions are a bit annoying. The repetitiveness of having to sneak up on people or having to trail people. I don't like that stuff of the game at all, but everything else about the game is great. So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever Ubisoft discusses at their conference coming up. But aside from that, that's all I've been playing really this week. I haven't really been playing too much else because getting ready for E3 next week. So
Word up, word up.
yeah. So that's pretty much it for what we've been playing. You guys did convince me I need to try Overwatch, so we'll see how that goes between now and the end of this month if I do pick it up. But yeah, to be determined. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the topics. A couple of topics to discuss, and then we're going to also talk about what everybody wants to hear, some of our E3 thoughts later. But before we get to that, a couple of things happened over the last couple of days that definitely deserve a conversation. First up, it was reported that the NX is delayed because Nintendo wants to add VR functionality to whatever the NX actually is. So, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this particular topic. How about you go first, Mr. Singletary?
I just discussed this recently, and at first I was like, well, it makes sense. Y'all need to be up with the times and everything. But then I really thought about it, and I was like, they really gotta. I want them to separate themselves from the pack. Because going up head-to-head against Xbox and PlayStation is not working for them. And I don't think it will, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Give us just a straight console, right? Not a media device, not a freaking living room centerpiece. Give us a straight-up console, strictly games. Let PlayStation and Xbox do the extra stuff on top of that. And make it where this Nintendo device can be it could be a companion console to this other stuff. Because remember when the Wii was out, everybody had either an Xbox and a Wii or a PlayStation and a Wii. Like, they always had a Wii in there. Like, you might not ever play that shit again, but you had one. You know what I'm saying? And part of that is a twofold thing. With the Wii, there was a gimmick that was appealing, that was fun, but also their record with first-party games is still solid. It still carries them, and they're still completely exclusive. So if you want that Smash Brothers game, if you want that Mario Kart or just Super Mario Brothers or maybe a Luigi's Mansion or something, if you want that, you have to have a Nintendo console, right? I want them to be so strong in the gaming department that when you make your decision, PC, Xbox, PS4, if you can't afford to have all of them, you're going to have a Nintendo device in there. And I feel like they're pretty much having to do, they'll probably have to do Oculus. I can't imagine them doing the HTC Vive or whatever Razer's putting out. And they're behind the pack on this. Like, who's going to be looking at their NX for VR stuff when, you know what I'm saying, like whenever that's supposed to come out? Which, granted, technically, I guess the NX is going to come out before the Scorpio does. So I guess they'll have that edge, but it won't come out before the PSVR does. And unless they've been secretly working on a original IP or just an IP VR specific Nintendo first party, title, I can't imagine this working out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have some thoughts, but Gary, how about your thoughts first?
I basically echo what Charles said. I mean, it doesn't seem like VR is not a unique selling point at this point because it's like everybody's trying to do that now. Obviously Sony's got their thing. There's rumors about Microsoft having, Oculus, which we'll talk about later, I guess. And everybody's trying to get on this VR wave right now. So it's, they're gonna have to do something else to make this work. And I mean, obviously we don't know what NX is at the moment, but it's supposed to be, a hybrid with, handheld and console, whatever. But how, like, the 3DS is still a big thing. Like, people still have 3DSs, so, like, how are they gonna solve that problem? Like, because people are still gonna be buying 3DSs. They still want that 3DS experience. So is this gonna be a replacement? Because if not, then I'm not sure people are gonna jump on it, So they really just need a good, solid, unique selling point for whatever NX is to get me interested personally, because at the moment there's no unique selling point for me. Like, even their games and stuff, I have no interest in many of their exclusive titles like Mario and Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Like, I don't really have much of an interest in those titles, even Zelda, personally, So there needs to be just more there to hook people, I think. And I'm not sure what they can do at this point, to be honest. I mean, I know they're releasing some of their stuff on mobile, and I think that's a good way for them to go. I feel like they should release a lot more stuff on mobile, like even Pokemon-related stuff and, Mario stuff. But, hey, they're being slow with it, so I guess we'll wait and see what the plan is with that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as of now...
Oh, did we lose Gary?
As of now, it looks as though Gary had a technical malfunction. That's what he was saying.
You can't be talking too much shit about Nintendo, man. It looks like they're gonna take you out.
Yeah. Well, Gary gets his issue sorted out. I'll just say this. I think Nintendo has, in my opinion, Nintendo has lost their way. It's not just about this device. I know they also announced this week that the Treehouse would have a couple other games added to it. And it felt like, because I had a conversation the other day with Mr. James Lugo, it feels a lot like that was a response to the fact that they said, I guess people are not happy that Zelda is the only game they're going to bring to E3, which doesn't make any sense because the Pokemon Sun and Moon game is coming out this fall, so I would think that should be at E3. But that's why I said it feels like they've lost their way. I do agree with what you said, Charles, about they need to be different from the competition, and I think that having VR, I really don't think that that's a wise decision for Nintendo either. They need to actually focus on communicating to us what the NX is. So,
yeah, true.
The one thing I will say is that I am glad that the system is delayed to beyond March, because to me, I really think that if you're going to release a system, it has to have some kind of presence at E3. Now, I don't know when they're going to release this system. I would assume it's going to be later in 2017, hopefully the fall. Therefore, they will benefit from having some type of presence at E3, because how are you going to release a device where absolutely, I know you're going to have a Nintendo Direct for it. That's fine. But having it at E3 and having people get their hands on the device, I think that will be better for Nintendo in the long run. So I'm totally fine with it being delayed. And, hopefully that does pay off. But for the VR stuff, I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet because I have to figure out more information. But I assume we'll find out more details after E3, because we're damn sure not going to find out any details next week. So we'll see what happens. I guess Gary still got some functionality issues.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Charles said Nintendo they made sure to shut down your internet temporarily because you spoke ill of them. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
Although I don't think Nintendo has mastered online, so I don't know how they will be able to shut down your functionality. Okay, that's another issue.
gonna make some people mad with that.
Yeah, it's all right. Listen, people already know I've been a Nintendo fan since I was a kid, but I am not a fan with what they're doing now with that device. So it's they deserve to be criticized for that stuff. So
True that.
so I believe that's. Any other thoughts on Nintendo before we move on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Gary, we're going to talk about your favorite topic next.
Microsoft.
Oh no. Oh, we'll get to Microsoft. They definitely going to be spoken about. But Gary's favorite, Gary has said multiple times on this show he is a huge fan of The Division, aka Destiny, in New York. So of course they announced that they're now working on a movie for The Division. And Gary already said that he is already getting ready to pre-order his tickets.
No.
Yeah. So Gary, why don't you tell us what your thoughts are on of Ubisoft making this decision to go with this Division movie?
I think this is way too soon. Like, cause I mean, The Division wasn't even like, okay, it did break records in its first week and stuff, but how many people are playing The Division now? Like, there was a huge drop off in numbers. That's all I know. So like, I just feel like the IP hasn't really established itself that much for it to need a film, and I feel like Ubisoft is just at a position now where they just want to make every one of their IPs into a movie. Of course, we got the Assassin's Creed coming out later this year, and they're already doing Splinter Cell 1, I believe, and I guess this is just. I mean, I don't know why they picked this though. I mean, I would have picked Watch Dogs before this, to be honest. Like, and even that's too soon. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how they're gonna promote this or market it, or I don't even know how they're gonna pitch the storyline of this, because if you use the storyline straight out of the game, it's really not that interesting to put on the big screen. So they're gonna have to be real creative with the plot and everything. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. It's whatever.
All right. I'm gonna make a statement real quick before I let Charles chime in. Let me go ahead and say this right now. What you said, Gary, about the Watch Dogs being too soon, I think that would have been a far better choice, because Watch Dogs 2 was already revealed and it's supposed to come out before March 2017. So I would have said maybe you can make Watch Dogs. I don't know when this movie is coming out, this Division movie. They haven't talked about a release date, any of that stuff. Watch Dogs, I would have been a better choice.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I definitely would have put Watch Dogs before The Division.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, because with The Division, it's like I mean, they're obviously happy that it is now gotten to a certain level, but to me, I just think not really a wise decision to make this the focal point of a movie at this point in time. Regarding the Assassin's Creed movie, listen, the trailer looked good, but that Kanye West song, that was a horrible choice for that trailer. Absolutely, and for that reason, now that makes me think the movie is going to be trash. So, that wasn't a good decision. I don't know who made that creative decision, but that person probably shouldn't make any more decisions creatively for any Ubisoft movies moving forward. But we'll see whether or not that turns out to be a success. But I know that typically Hollywood's take on video game movies is they are not successful. So I am concerned about this movie as well. But I guess we'll see what happens. How about you, Charles?
Pass. I am not excited for a Division movie at all. The Assassin's Creed trailer, yes, I agree. It is. It does look interesting. But the Warcraft trailer also did look interesting, and from what I understand, that movie was hot doo-doo butter. So I'm gonna wait. I don't understand how Ubisoft just decides to announce that before Assassin's Creed is even out yet. Like, you need to see if that's gonna tank first the
Yeah.
story you start giving us movies for The Division, the fucking Crew, Rayman probably getting a movie. Like, they gotta dial it back just a few notches, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like this announcement coming out now before like Assassin's Creed is still months away. Like it's what,
Yeah.
December or something? Like
Yep.
at least let that movie come out and see what the success is before you start talking about, more films.
Oh well, don't worry. I'm pretty sure that they have a lot of other films in the works, such as Just Dance the movie. That'll be a successful hit. But Rayman, that possibly could have worked as an animated cartoon slash film. But I don't know what they're doing over there. It's animation is very expensive. I know this because I went to school for that, and to try and make a film about that type of stuff is in some ways more expensive than the live action stuff. But I just don't know. I do agree, though. Yeah, it would have been great for them to actually release Assassin's Creed first before you talk about this other movie venture. But I guess they just saw, oh, this made a ton of money. We got to jump on this immediately. But I don't know.
Well, I just want to say that we live in a world where a Tetris movie is being made. So a Just Dance movie doesn't sound that bad. And hey, I mean, Save the Last Dance was great. So,
Well.
No, I'm gonna stop you right there, sir. We can stop that right now. We need to move right on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too much. Too much. So, and allow me to end this discussion by saying I should not have compared Destiny to The Division because I enjoy Destiny a hell of a lot more now than I do The Division.
Really now, because I'm out of the loop on the Division conversation because I didn't get it when it came out.
Yeah.
And I'm not on PS4 anymore, so I didn't have a perspective on that. But it's had a steep drop off of players, and you just didn't enjoy it.
Well, the thing is that normally when a game comes out and it has such a high, if a lot of people talking about it, I will be the one to jump on the game to see what all the buzz is about. That's how I treated this game. The game is fine, but again, just like with it always being always online and the fact that you need competent teammates to get through most of these missions. Like I went on to try and do some missions where just like basic stuff that you have to do, and the teammates I had were absolutely atrocious. So I could not achieve, actually get past some of the missions. So that it definitely impacted my overall view of the game itself. But why I say Destiny is better is because the Taken King was way better than any of the previously released content that they had for Destiny. And then I started playing that again because I've actually been playing with David Jagno's nephew. I played a couple games with him. After I came back from the wedding that I went to, David's wedding a couple months ago, back in April. And once I jumped back into playing it, yeah, the game is still fun. The core stuff is still fun. And I know that Activision is supposed to talk about the next expansion this upcoming week. So I think that I have a little bit more faith in that now than The Division because I just had more fun with it. I made jokes before about The Division doesn't have a story, and I still think the story is it's a little out there, but the gameplay itself is the best part of it because Bungie is behind it. So,
yeah, I mean, my experience with The Division, like when it came out, I loved it. Like that was my game. I was on that like nonstop. But it's like after I hit like level 30, the level cap and stuff, it was like, okay, what do I do next? Like with Destiny, you never had to ask that question. Like there was just always something to do, always something you wanted to upgrade or weapons you wanted to get. Like there's always something to do in Destiny, and of course your friends are all playing too. So you got a crew of people that you can always play with. Like it all felt connected. Like it's a universe that you're just in, and there's always something to do within that universe. With The Division, it's just like, okay, I'm level 30 now. What now? Like there's just nothing to do after that. Like the dark zone isn't that interesting really. I like the concept. It's just it's not that interesting, especially if you're playing alone. Like if you go in as a group, sure you might have some fun there, but I was mainly playing alone, and like there wasn't enough there to keep me playing. I mean, even when I play Destiny alone, it's still fun for me. So that's just my take on it.
Now I will make one quick comment. As I said, Destiny is great. The Division is okay, but we have to address that again. The biggest issue with both games is that the content issue and the lack of content thereafter you've already completed the main meat of the game. I think both games have that problem. Obviously, you have to do a good job with the support. Destiny has had issues where after you finished everything, you were waiting a long time for them to release stuff, as expected, because they're still developing it. But I think that I would hope that in the future developers will come up with a development schedule and keep all of the fans who pick up these games attuned to what they're working on to keep it interesting, because again, that is what will make things successful in the long run. Now, I'm assuming that Overwatch already has a strategy for this, but I just want everybody to have that strategy moving forward, because again, if you don't keep interest in the game, then it is obviously going to be a huge drop-off. Like I know with Destiny there was a drop-off, but when Taken King came out, some people jumped back into it, and I'm pretty sure people will jump back into it again when they announce this next expansion. But that's the main thing when you're going to decide to make a game like this. You got to have stuff that you have on a schedule to keep releasing. Like, for example, very briefly, the Hitman game that came out, the episodic structure, and so far they have stayed on point with everything that they've been doing for that game, where there's a new episode every single month. They introduce elusive targets, and those targets that are only available for 48 hours. After that, they're gone. So yeah. all of that stuff is great. So I would hope that people will do this stuff moving forward for all the other games. That's all I'm saying.
I'm really liking what they're doing with Hitman for sure. It's really dope.
Absolutely. So that's it for the Division. We're going to go on to the next topic. This was announced last night. Apparently, the survival horror game Allison Road has been canceled. So, wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this. An official statement is supposed to be coming out in the next couple of days, from what I understand. But what are your thoughts after hearing this news in general? How about you go first, Charles?
It's very disappointing because, we're possibly never going to get PT. And Allison Road was kind of an olive branch for that, for the people that really, really liked what they saw from that PT, demo of Silent Hill thing. So the fact that, the most promising thing coming from that is no longer even being made really sucks. I hope it wasn't a case where, like, Konami found a way to shut down the game. But, I mean, honestly, any reason we get is just not going to be that great. Like, if it's funding, I would hope that somebody's like, hey, let's shoot these people some money or try to get them to work on a Kickstarter campaign or something to get this game made. But I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to it. And like scary games scared the shit out of me, but I was gonna give it a shot anyway.
Yeah, I also was looking forward to this game because I did get a chance to try out both the Oculus and the Rift the Oculus and the Vive not too long ago. And I was interested to see how this game was going to come together. So, very disappointing. How about you, Gary?
I'm really ignorant when it comes to survival horror because it's not really my genre. So was this basically like an independent thing, or was it a studio? Was it?
My understanding that was independent.
Okay, so basically it was inspired by PT, and it was supposed to be like a.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's definitely a disappointment to people who really enjoyed PT and wanted to see something like that, exactly like that. I guess it's disappointing, but I hope that, because I don't know, survival horror, it seemed like it kind of fell off for a while, but I think with VR coming out, you might see, a surge in survival horror games. So hopefully there'll be a lot more survival horror experiences to look forward to, and ones that kind of mimic the PT formula a little bit. So that's all I can say about that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I made the comment yesterday on Twitter about the game, I know there was a couple games that somebody mentioned I should check out. I haven't really had a chance to look into any of those games yet, but hopefully there is more out there that could be offered. Still have no idea what Kojima is working on. I assume maybe we'll hear more about that sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Of course, there will be more details that'll come out about what happened with this game, because I'm very intrigued to find out why it was canceled. If Konami was involved, that's ridiculous, because these guys they've been on a they've been really making people angry as of late. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, I did want to say those that were working on the game. Hopefully this didn't result in any job losses, or that these people are already working on something else, because, again, I don't know how long this project was in development, but I would assume that, yeah, hopefully everybody that was involved, obviously they were impacted, but hopefully they're able to recover from it quickly. So, any final thoughts on Allison Road?
Nope, not from me.
All right, so now it's the main event time. Okay, this time next week we will be at E3. We will probably be just leaving the EA conference. So figured that it will be time to talk about some of our predictions as to what we think is going to be happening. As for those that don't already know, there is going to be a throwdown later this week in which it's going to be closer to E3, so I know that Gary and myself will be on that show to talk about quite a bit more stuff. But for now, we definitely want to talk about a few things, because I figure that there is some things that can be discussed. So we're going to start with the third-party predictions. I guess we can start with EA, since I've already mentioned it. Is there anything that you guys think will be announced, or you're looking forward to seeing once they do reveal it at E3? You can go first, Charles.
I'm naturally excited for Battlefield 1. I do want to see more of that. But the big thing we'll get from E3, I believe, is whatever that Star Wars game Visceral's working on. With the head from Naughty Dog, was it Amy Hennig?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Amy Hennig, yeah.
Yeah, whatever they're working on, I think we're going to see it, and I think it potentially could steal the show, whatever it is. So I'm looking forward to that big time from EA.
Sounds good. How about you, Gary?
Definitely Battlefield 1. I definitely want to see more of that. I've already decided that that's going to be the FPS I buy this fall, because I'm not buying Call of Duty, and I can't remember what else is coming out around that time. But yeah, in terms of FPS, that's going to be the one I buy this fall. And I also really, really, really am dying to see some gameplay from Mass Effect Andromeda. So I'm hoping that we can see that. I know they've kind of said that it might be delayed again. I think there was a report or rumor or something about it being.
Well, hold on a second.
Delay.
When did you hear about this rumor? This was recent?
Yeah, it was sometime this week. I read. I kind of skimmed it on one of the sites, and it said something about it being I think it was basically one of the developers saying that it's not as far along or something as it should be, or something like that.
Oh no!
But still, I feel like it's time for them to at least show some gameplay and show us. I mean, obviously we had that leak of the jetpack and all that stuff, but we want to see more. Like, we want to see what this game is about, and what it's going to do differently from the previous games. And I just want to see all that stuff, because for me that's my Star Wars. Because I like Star Wars and everything, but like I'm not as invested as I am in Mass Effect. Like I really love those games. I played them multiple times over and over. So yeah, that's the game I want to see. And obviously the Star Wars game with Amy Hennig, I'd love to see that too. Just because I feel like we're due a good Star Wars game with a campaign, story mode, and everything. So that would be cool to see as well. And besides that, I guess they'll just show the usual sports stuff, Madden and FIFA, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm really looking for out of the conference.
Well, yeah, they will show the normal sports stuff, except for NBA Live, since that was delayed until next year. Yeah. But what I'm looking forward to, I agree as well. Battlefield 1, I'm very interested to see more about that, because I feel like the trailer we saw, that wasn't really enough. And I'm a little confused as to what the central focus will be of the game. I've heard rumors about it being different time spans within this particular time period. I'm not sure what that is. Harlem Hellfighters, though, that is the reason why I want to see what this is all about. And again, because they have one of those characters as a toy that's available for the collectible, as a collectible for the, the higher end edition, I'm thinking that, the game should heavily be focused on them. So that's one thing I definitely want to see. Mass Effect, I absolutely want to see that also. I'm not surprised if it is delayed further. I wouldn't be surprised, because I know they had a lot of people that left the company over the last several months. So I would think that the game possibly won't be out until maybe late 2017, and that will be fine. Give them as much time as possible. But I am interested to see what exactly it is they're working on with that, because I have no idea anything about it. Aside from that, the Star Wars game also, I'm interested to see that. I'm also interested to see, though, what is the game that Respawn is working on, since they are working on 2 games now. Titanfall 2, we know will be there. I don't really know what I feel about Titanfall 2 quite yet, but I will say that whatever this game they're working on, the Star Wars game they're working on, I would hope to get some information on that, because I don't know what it is, what to expect. So we'll see. But other than that, I don't. As far as any other surprises, I don't know what EA is working on. I know they recently, signed another deal with Coldwood Interactive, the guys who made Unravel, and I guess that these guys are now working on another Unravel game. I didn't even play the first one, although I wanted to play it, so I'm not sure what to expect with that, but I would assume there are going to be some surprises. And then the other game that I believe that they teased a while back, the little concept game they were working on, I forget what type of game it was, whether it was a racing game or something. I don't know what that it was, but I'm assuming we'll see more of that. Hopefully, less concept stuff and actual stuff that is already in development, because we don't need to see this is everything that we're thinking about doing, but we probably won't do. So, no, I want to see some concrete stuff from them. So, hopefully, we'll see that.
Word.
So, I think that's it for EA. We'll go to the next one, Bethesda. Okay, because I know Bethesda, they made a lot of headlines last year when they decided to have their first conference, and the fact that Fallout 4 was coming out. So a lot of people are questioning, why are they having another one this year? So what do you guys think about that? How about you go first, Gary? Let us know what you think Bethesda's going to show.
I really don't know, to be honest. I mean, the only thing I can think of that I want is new Elder Scrolls, but I don't know if it's too soon for that. But yeah, that's the one thing I really want from them. But I do think we're going to see a lot of Dishonored 2, of course, because that's like the next big IP that's coming from Bethesda. And we might see some, I don't know, like Elder Scrolls Online expansion or something of that nature. I'm not really sure what else. I mean, maybe Quake, because I know they've got id Software working with them, so That was the rumor that they would work on Quake next. So I don't know. I really don't have many ideas.
Quake was basically what I was gonna say. Because like I said, we did kind of an E3 pre-show thing already, and that came up. I hadn't thought about it before, but yeah, Quake could be a thing. Also, Bethesda does Wolfenstein too, right?
Mm-hmm.
We might get another Wolfenstein as well. Now, it might be too soon simply because Doom just came out, but I think we get one of those two at least.
And and I'm gonna have to agree with that. I definitely think you're gonna see another Wolfenstein. Definitely won't be coming out this year, but I could see them having a teaser trailer to let people know what they're working on. That I think is a guarantee. As for Bethesda or the other stuff, Elder Scrolls seems like a safe bet. Of course, that's another game where it is nowhere near getting done, but maybe it'll be spoken about. One game that I keep hearing about, and I don't know what it is. I've been hearing this about from several places are saying the same thing. They're saying Skyrim remastered.
Yeah.
So if that does happen,
or possible collection also, or some shit.
So if that happens, though, are you guys gonna pick that up?
Well, me personally, I already own the games on PC, so as far as I'm concerned, I have the remastered version already.
That didn't stop you from buying Final Fantasy over and over, man.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy, I gotta buy that.
No, hey.
I may, because I never played Skyrim, but you don't know how I feel about remasters. Like, nah, I'm good, man. Which honestly, I probably wouldn't even buy it. Because I'll just get the PC version and like do all the mods and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like modding is a big thing for those games on PC. So, I feel like I wouldn't need to buy that personally again. But I feel like for console only gamers, that would be a good deal if it was a collection with Oblivion and Skyrim. Maybe they can even throw Morrowind in there. I don't know. I know that would excite a lot of people because that was a highly celebrated game in the series. So, if they could do something like that, I'm sure it would appeal to a lot of console gamers. But for me personally, I'm not excited.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I think that concludes Bethesda. The next up, I would say Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft released a trailer a couple of days ago with a teaser of sorts of what they are going to show. We already know Watch Dogs 2 is going to be there because that's already been leaked everywhere else. But what else are you guys expecting to see at Ubisoft? This time, I'll go first. Obviously, as I already said, Watch Dogs 2 will be there. I didn't care for the first Watch Dogs game. I believe the general consensus is that the sequel would be better because there was a lot of problems with the first game. They would have a chance to get back to form for this next game. So my hope is that it is a little bit more interesting. Hopefully the protagonist is like someone that I would actually think is somewhat of a good character because the last guy, no, totally boring character. So hopefully Watch Dogs 2 will be good. If I have to say one game that I think is going to be mentioned, and no, I'm not going to mention Beyond Good and Evil 2. No, I'm not going to mention that because I don't know what's going on with that. But I think it is about time. It is about time for another Splinter Cell. Because, again, we had Splinter Cell on last-gen consoles. We haven't yet had it on Xbox One or PlayStation 4, so I think that's probably going to be spoken about. I would have said Prince of Persia, but, again, I don't know what the status is of that project. Although I will say this. The director of that last Prince of Persia game was the director on Far Cry Primal. And when I went to the preview event earlier this year, the guy, I did talk to that guy. He said, well, Prince of Persia is not finished. So that game could be coming at some point, but I just don't know to what extent, how far along, when it's going to happen. So I would say maybe that's later. But I think Splinter Cell, it seems like it's almost a guarantee that will be something that will be spoken about again soon. So,
Okay.
how about you, Charles?
I think we're definitely gonna see a big trailer for Ghost Recon.
Oh yes.
We're gonna get a lot from that. I think we'll get an expansion to the Division. Who cares for it? Who knows? But maybe they'll drop like a some DLC like Taken King level that makes people go back to the game and get people to buy it that didn't have it before. Maybe. I don't know. But man, you got me thinking about Beyond Good and Evil 2, man. We didn't even think. Nobody mentioned that on the other show. Like, Beyond Good and Evil is like one of my gems in my gaming collection. Like, I did not expect to absolutely love that game as much as I did. It was wonderful, and I cannot wait for them to drop a new one. So, like, I'm a bank on that. I want that Beyond Good and Evil to come out. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Well, hey, listen. Last year was the year that Sony just dropped the hammer. All the stuff they announced. So this is like one of the other games, one of the few games that, again, we need to see that return. You already know Shenmue is coming back, so yeah, it will make sense for this to happen at some point.
Yeah, buddy.
So we'll see. How about you, Gary?
I can mainly only talk about things I want to see, but I definitely feel like they'll spend a lot of time on Ghost Recon and probably Watch Dogs 2 as well.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 there.
Yeah, and I feel like they'll probably do the Division expansion as well. I'm sure they'll do something with that because they want to keep that going. They want to keep the talk of the Division going, especially if they're making a movie. So I'm sure we'll see something for that. I feel like they'll close the show with like a tease of the next Assassin's Creed game. They won't say when it's coming or anything like that, but they'll drop something in there to get you excited for the series again. So I feel like that's gonna happen.
May I add something?
Yeah.
This is something I said in the other show as well. I think that in the Watch Dogs 2 trailer, because we're not gonna have Assassin's Creed there, I think we're going to get a direct tie to Assassin's Creed through Watch Dogs. Like, they're not going to be aloof and, like, maybe this is the same world or whatever. I think we're going to get even to the point of maybe it starts off with scenes that look like they're from Assassin's Creed, and it goes into Watch Dogs 2. So that's my bold prediction.
So you think they're going to tease? They're going to tease us?
Yeah.
That's
Or no, I mean, it's going to be a Watch Dogs 2 trailer. I don't think it'll be like announcing an Assassin's Creed game. It's going to be just a direct tie-in to the Animus and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's possible.
That would be dope, though, if they did that. But, what was I going to say? Shit, I was going to say something.
Assassin's Creed?
No. I want to see another Far Cry. Is it Blood Dragon? I think. Yeah, Blood Dragon. I want to see another one of those.
That would be dope.
Yeah, because they did the Far Cry Primal, so the next progression would be a new Far Cry game, which, to be honest, I'm not that excited about. But if they did another Blood Dragon, that would be pretty dope, because a lot of people asked for that. So it would be cool if they had that. And besides that, they'll probably just do, the usual Ubisoft stuff where they show off like dance games and like kiddie games and probably some VR stuff too.
Oh yeah, they are working on a Sony VR game because we saw that at the it was at I think it was PlayStation Experience. They had a trailer of the things that they were working on, so they are working on something for that. I just was going to add one last thing. 2 games that weren't mentioned that will definitely be there. For Honor, and that new South Park game, because they teased that South Park game last year, and I did mention I didn't see that was also in that trailer they released a couple of days ago. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think those will be there.
Yeah, definitely. I know for a fact that For Honor is coming out this year, because that is another event that I was already told they are going to have a preview event for that, and possibly Ghost Recon. But For Honor is the absolute definite that they're going to have a preview event for that. So we'll see that. So I look forward to seeing that. As far as other titles they're working on, hey, listen, I don't know, but hey, we'll see what happens. It's not that far off. So that's it for Ubisoft. I don't know if we should go with the clear-cut biggest show, or we'll save that for the next one. All right, no, let's go with Microsoft. We'll save the best for last. Yeah, so Microsoft number 2 behind Sony, so we're gonna make that the next one. So as for Microsoft, we already know the Xbox Scorpio, the Slim. I think Microsoft has made it very obvious that that a Slim is coming, because the price drop they announced, it ends on June 13th, which is the same day as the conference. So I think you can pretty much guarantee that Slim, if it isn't coming out right as soon as the 13th, it's going to be out not too long after that. But that's all I will say for the consoles. So what do you guys think about Microsoft? What do you think they're going to discuss at E3? How about you go first, Gary?
Yeah, so definitely we're going to see the Slim. That's for certain. And I don't know, because there's some reports saying that they might not actually show the Scorpio yet, because it might be coming sometime next year. But the rumor is circulating at the moment that it's going to be, far superior to what Sony are doing with their upgraded system, and that, it's going to be able to have Oculus and things of that nature. So I'm not sure if they're going to be ready to dish all the details on that yet, but maybe they'll at least allude to it. Who knows? I'm not sure. What I really want to know is what they're going to show game-wise. Like, that's the thing nobody's talking about. Like, what games would they have to show? I mean, obviously there's I forgot the name now. What's that game everyone's looking forward to?
Gears of War 4?
No, the Monster Hunter type one.
Scalebound.
Scalebound, that's it, yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, I think they're going to show a lot of that, a lot of gameplay. Gears 4, of course, that's the other big game coming for Xbox. And I'm expecting, a lot of Windows talk as well, to be honest, because Microsoft are big on Windows. They will really want to push that as a platform too, especially when it comes to the Xbox One. So I feel like we're going to see some kind of parallel with the Xbox brand and Windows shown to us. So yeah, I feel like they'll spend some time with that. But gameplay-wise, I don't know. Like, besides those IPs we already know about, I'm really interested to see what new stuff is coming for, specifically for the Xbox platform.
Okay, we'll see about that. How about you, Mr. Singletary?
Co-sign the stuff that he said, but the main two that I'm looking forward to seeing are Sea of Thieves and Recore.
Yes.
I think we're going to get a lot of footage on those two. I don't care so much about Gears of War. Gears of War 4. Scalebound, I think they showed a lot of that last year, and then kind of unleashed the whole co-op aspect. We'll probably see more of the co-op side of things. Maybe a Forza spinoff. Because it's not time for a main Forza game, so maybe Horizons, or maybe they start something else new, like a Forza Street Racing or some shit, just surprise everybody. I think that would be pretty dope. But yeah, Recore and Sea of Thieves are the main things I'm looking for from Microsoft.
Cool. Okay, so I do. There are two things that I've heard about that I've been hearing a lot about. But first and foremost, with Forza, I definitely think you'll see Forza Horizon 3 or a new game. Microsoft is supposedly having a Forza event after the press conference that I just found this about the other day. I don't know what the event is because there's not a lot of details out yet. but it's supposed to be some type of event where the people who went to Fan Fest are invited to that as well. So it could be, I don't know if it's Horizon or if it's another game all completely together, but I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Right.
One other thing that I heard about, and again, this is a rumor, I can't confirm it. Capcom Vancouver, who worked on Dead Rising 3, they're working on another Dead Rising game. Supposedly, they are working on something, and they're going to talk about it at the show. Again, I don't know if any of this is true. I would assume that, Microsoft, obviously, there has to be another thing that they're working on. I don't know what other IPs they're working on, but I do know that Dead Rising 3, I guess it did okay on Xbox. I mean, it was on PC, but now that they have the goal of also releasing on PC, I could definitely see them having another Dead Rising.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see about that. In terms of the games that I look forward to seeing, I don't really care. I mean, Gears of War was good back in the day, but this is a new generation. I want to see new experiences. So I'm looking forward to Scalebound more, Recore, Sea of Thieves. I mean, all of these new IPs, because I really enjoy Sunset Overdrive. I enjoy Quantum Break. So I like to see Microsoft do new things, not release the same stuff over and over again.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to those more so than anything else. Also, a lot of the indie games that I know will also be on PC, like Cuphead. I want to see what's going on with that game, because that game is supposed to come out this year also.
Yes. Correct.
And last but certainly not least, Below, because that is a game. I didn't make it to PAX East back in April, but that is a game that I wanted to. That specifically was the game I wanted to go to PAX East for, because I saw it when they first revealed it at a previous PAX East several years ago, and the game was great. Now it's totally different. They've added other things to it, so I look forward to seeing what those games are and whatever else Microsoft reveals, because I don't know. I think the consoles, that's a guarantee. Some type of VR support, that's a guarantee, since stuff was leaking out about that also. But more so, I'm looking forward to the games more so than the consoles, because I think, again, Microsoft is in this mindset now where they really need to focus on games, I think, more than anything else, to get gamers interested in the console again. So We'll see about that. But that's all I have to say about Microsoft. So are you guys ready to move on to the big dog, the main event?
I am.
All right, so Sony conference. Last year, easily.
I thought the main event was PC gaming. Oh, never mind.
Wait a second. Okay, well, I'll say this. We could talk about PC gaming, but we don't have 4 or 5 hours to spend talking about everything they will show at the show. But if you want to talk about PC gaming real quick, you can tell me what you think will be at that show.
Civilization 6, most certainly.
Yes.
That'll definitely be at the show. I think we'll have that. I think we're going to have a big Star Citizen single-player campaign trailer, because they've been working on it and getting some really big names for that. I think we'll get that. Elite Dangerous might tease a few things, which they might do that on the Xbox stage also.
Oh, yes. That came out on Xbox the other day, yeah.
Yeah. Shoot, what else is upcoming, honestly? I don't know. We'll probably see some mobile things out there. Because, PC doesn't need an event like E3 to thrive on their, games, so it's kind of tough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, do you think it's going to be like a lot of VR-focused stuff that they show? Or
that's true. That could be happening as well. There's probably going to be a lot of Oculus, probably some Oculus Touch stuff, actually, because Touch comes out in fall. Mm. And then we'll have the HTC Vive out there. So, yeah, that's a good point. We'll probably get a lot of VR stuff.
Okay. That's fine with me. How about you, Gary?
No, you know what? I don't even want to give predictions, because this will be my first time attending the PC conference. So I just really want to go there.
Well. Let's get into that very briefly now. Charles, you was at the PC conference last year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so did you enjoy it, or was it too long? What are these complaints that I keep hearing about the show being too long and it wasn't interesting?
I don't think I felt like it was too long. Well, I
Okay.
mean, I can understand why people said it was too long, but their show was very different from every other show. Like, it wasn't the super flashy, poppy, big stage production that we get from like Xbox and Sony and or not Nintendo, but these other companies. You know what I'm saying? It was more so a intimate gathering and them just seriously talking about the tech, the new graphics cards and that kind of stuff. Um, that's what I got from it. And the person they had hosting it was, if I'm thinking, I think that was the PC show. The person that hosted it was hilarious. Like he carried it. He was on the level of remember the guy from Sony, the one that had the commercials that was really
Kevin Butler.
cool? Kevin Butler. He was on that level of funny as he carried the show, and he did a good job doing it live and having all these people come up and talk and keeping it going. But I don't know. And then also, I might be confusing. I went to a PC show and I went to the AMD thing, and I might be blending those together.
Well, I was gonna ask, isn't the PC show funded by AMD or something, or like, isn't it?
Was it? I don't know. It may have been. I don't know.
Yeah, they were one of the
confused.
supporters, I think.
Yeah, but I went to an AMD specific thing also, I think. Or maybe it was right after that. But it was a good, to me, it was a good, it was more, while that guy was funny, it was more professional, I feel, in its structure. It wasn't a big ad fest. It was legit information about their stuff. So, yeah, like, I mean, if people are going to it hoping for like what Sony does or Xbox does, that's not what the PC Gamer thing was. So.
Yeah, but see, I really just want to go into there and see what it's all about. Like, I'm not trying to give predictions and stuff. And also, because AMD is a part of this show, like, it kind of has me questioning a little bit, because I want a PC show to be neutral and stuff. And yeah, I feel like if AMD's behind it, we're not going to see a lot of NVIDIA stuff on show. So yeah, that's my thing. But I'm just going to wait and see what happens without giving predictions.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's fair enough. All right, yeah, that's fair enough. I don't really know what to expect with the PC gaming show. This would also be my first one. I do know that I intend to get a gaming PC this summer, so this is going to be one thing I'm definitely going to be looking out for to see what exactly is coming to the device. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's hard to really predict that because I don't really know what's coming. I do know VR will more than likely be a main focal point, but there'll also be other stuff as well that they can focus on. So we'll see about that. So now we can get to the main event. Not to downplay PC, but the fact that PC went ahead of Microsoft, I think you should at least be thankful for that. So the Sony event. Anything that you guys are looking forward to with the Sony event? How about you go first, Charles?
Looking forward to. Oh man. Let's see. We're gonna see Horizon Zero Dawn again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll get release dates for The Last Guardian, and it'll be this year. We'll get release windows for Shenmue 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake and gameplay. More gameplay for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and finally get legit gameplay for Shenmue. We'll get Gran Turismo Sport because they just released the gameplay footage for that, so we'll probably get something pretty solid for that thing. Maybe like a like they've done Gran Turismo like Prologue before. They'll probably do a thing where like you can sign up to be a part of Gran Turismo Sport Prologue, and it'll be like a free beta thing that happens before it comes out in the fall. shoot, my two like bold predictions, like Reach is probably not gonna happen, but I really hope they do. I hope we get a Warhawk sequel announced,
Oh,
and
I wouldn't be mad at that.
dog, like that would just lock the whole show up for me right there if they announce the Warhawk sequel and show me some gameplay. And finally, after all these years, that long developed Agent game that was a PlayStation 3 exclusive resurfaces as a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Those are my two bold predictions on that end. But shoot, I know there's more. Like I went through a whole list of shit just yesterday of all the stuff for Sony show. I think we'll see a big IP for VR that may even be related to like a exclusive Sony franchise somehow. Like I think they got a big surprise for that because they got to have something that'll pull people in. Because like that Met game, that sport thing that they did, that's cool. They need that, but they need a big IP that people recognize. I think to go along with the launch of the VR. So I think of the PlayStation VR. So I think we'll get something along those lines as well. Kingdom Hearts 3 footage. We're gonna see some gameplay of that.
And Final Fantasy.
You talking about 15? Like we've seen everything there is for 15. Like all we need for 15 is to be like, look, just so y'all know, the release date is still accurate. We'll see y'all then. Like we don't need anything else from that. We need to see some Kingdom Hearts stuff for next year, man. But that's all I can think of off the top of my head for now.
Oh no, that's a lot.
God of War. We're probably gonna get to for that.
Well, and you know that we all will know that God of War is here when we hear Hip Hop Gamer screaming at the top of his lungs as soon as they show Kratos. So yeah, that's definite. So how about you, Gary?
Yeah, that big VR blockbuster title, I feel like it's going to be Gran Turismo Sport. I feel like they're going to show that game working with PSVR because that game's coming out this fall.
That would make
is
sense.
supposed to be coming this fall, so it just makes sense that, that's going to be the game. Damn, I mean, definitely God of War. I don't know. I can't even think like what else really I'd want to see. Definitely. They're going to talk about PlayStation Neo, of course, and whatever that is, and the benefits of the new platform. They're going to have to really do a good job selling this, I think, because for me personally, I see no value in upgrading to this new console, but I'm sure a lot of people will if they, explain all of the benefits and. But see, they have to do this in a way that's not going to alienate the people who want to stick with the core console. So it's going to be a challenge for them, I think, because they can go out there and say, "Oh, it's going to be so much better than the normal PS4, and you can do all this great stuff." But then, how are the people who can't afford it going to feel? They're going to be pissed. So they're going to have to find some way to do that. What's up, Rich?
I just was going to say, I think that Sony they've seen enough of what happens when you do not properly communicate information based on all the mistakes that Microsoft has made. So they'll find a way to send this message across loud and clear. I think the fact that VR is coming out, that is going to be more than enough of a reason why they could say, okay, you might want to upgrade if you're going to get heavy into VR. But again, as you both already said, they would need a major VR title, and I think Gran Turismo is that title because that makes perfect sense for that to be one of the titles that they really highlight with VR.
Yep.
Well, no, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of third-party and indie companies come on stage to show off, some of their stuff. And in terms of IPs, not new IPs, but exclusive IPs, obviously God of War I think is going to be one, and I feel like we'll get a few returning IPs like Crash Bandicoot, because that was teased in Uncharted. Uncharted 4. So I feel like that might be coming back. What else? I feel like we might get The Getaway or something like that. Well. That would be cool to see. So yeah, I feel like we'll get some returning IPs along with God of War. And yeah, Horizon. Yeah, I can't really think of what else really. So you go ahead, Rich.
Okay, let me go ahead and start off with a few that you guys already mentioned. Horizon, they already have an image painted on the famous hotel down in Los Angeles for Horizon. So I think you can pretty much guarantee that's going to have a major focus. I know that Last Guardian will be there, and it is coming out this year because people have already played it and have been talking about it online. So that's going to be there. One game that I played this year, and I was very surprised. It's a game that Charles speaks very highly of. The game Neo. That game, listen, I did get humbled when I played the game for obvious reasons, but that game will definitely, absolutely, positively be there.
We all got humbled. Everybody that picked that up, like even like Souls fans, like we all got humbled when we picked that bad boy up. Like, that was not no light work at all.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm also looking forward to seeing, after seeing the video yesterday, Hellblade. That combat video's, wow, I was blown away.
They dropped a new combat video?
Oh yeah, the gameplay video. They dropped it, what, 2 or 3 days ago?
Snap! Give me just a second. I'm gonna watch that right now.
Oh yeah, no. When I saw that, I said, "Oh man, this game looks fantastic." I mean, I know it's going to be on PC and PlayStation, but obviously, I think it'll be at the PlayStation show, without question. Let me think. What else? Aside from those, of course, they are going to talk about Neo. They'll talk about Uncharted, the fact that, the Uncharted sales were through the roof. They will more than likely show some of this, give us an idea of what this DLC is going to be for Uncharted 4, because they already said it's going to be some single-player DLC. So I look forward to that. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict. One bold prediction I do have. Some people may get mad with this prediction. I mean, you both have already made some great predictions, very bold predictions that I actually think they more likely are going to come true. One, though, that I think is an absolute guarantee. We know that Sony focuses heavily on. They have the third-party stuff now. They have the third-party deals, the third-party attention more so than Microsoft. And while it would make sense for this to be revealed at the Microsoft conference, because we already know that some capacity is coming, but I think you are going to see a trailer for Red Dead Redemption. Whatever the next game is, the reason why I say Sony, for obvious reasons, listen, Sony, it will make more sense for it to be at Sony's conference, because I think the relationship that Rockstar has with Sony, the fact that they released the console with Grand Theft Auto several years ago, and that game is massive. It's still selling extremely well. So I would think you're going to see that. Now, why you may see it at Microsoft's conference is because you already know they're going to have backwards compatibility for Red Dead Redemption. So it would make sense for it to be at Microsoft's conference. However, Microsoft wants to focus on first party more than third party. Unless, of course, they decide, well, no, we're going to make an exception and have Red Dead Redemption. But I don't, I would think if they're going to stay the course of focusing on their own games rather than the third-party deals, then they shouldn't even focus on that, and that's something that Sony should bring to the table. So that would be my guess as to what you will see as far as a bold prediction, because I think it's pretty obvious that is a game that is going to be talked about. I think at E3 one way or another, because they continue, just about every day I hear about the leaks with these maps and the fact that Rockstar had said they're going to reveal new IPs or new projects very soon. What better way than to be E3 or after E3? But I think E3 you're going to see something, because obviously Mafia and Civilization are going to be at E3. I already know this for a fact. That's already confirmed. But outside of that, you know, if Rockstar isn't there, or it does have a presence there, it's going to more than likely be something that they show in a trailer. So that's my guess for Sony's conference so far.
I know something else that's going to be there.
What's that?
They're going to have a montage of PlayStation Plus, and then within that montage, they're going to show Powers Season 2, because Powers Season 2 is coming out. So
I thought that was already out. Well, it's not out yet then. Yeah, that'll be there. You said the montage thing, and I thought about a couple years ago when they showed those montages multiple times.
yeah, like Sony, like they need to do something with PlayStation Now, because they're getting their asses kicked with backwards compatibility. Because Microsoft, they obviously offer the better backwards compatibility, so Sony has to kind of do something to sell PlayStation Now a bit more and tell us why it's a valuable service. Why should we pay for it? They got to do something with that, I think.
And you delete
it. Well, hey, maybe they can combine that with PlayStation Plus.
That's what they should do. They should.
I mean, it would make sense for them to do something. I will say this though. I do applaud them for having NBA 2K16 as one of the PlayStation Plus games for June, because I know everybody isn't a sports fan, and the Spike Lee story mode is complete garbage, but the game is actually good. So I gotta applaud them for that, because I am going to download it. Even though I have NBA 2K16 on Xbox One, you best believe I'm gonna get it for free on PlayStation Plus as well. So good, but we'll see what they show. And God of War, as you already said, that's going to be there, without question. That's absolutely going to be there. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, because see, the thing is with Sony as well is between PSVR and the PlayStation Neo, they're asking us to spend a lot of money this year. So they need something to soften that blow. And they could really do that with PlayStation Now by saying, okay, look, this service is free now, or you get it with PlayStation Plus. So I feel like they need something like that to soften the blow, because at the moment it's like they're kind of asking too much of people, I think.
Well, I personally think if they added that to PlayStation Plus, that will be considered. I guess that will just completely just blow what Microsoft announced last year with backwards compatibility out the water. Because I can see people last year when Microsoft announced backwards compatibility, they said, "Oh, well, that's not a big deal." But then when they say this is now part of PlayStation Plus, they're gonna make that a big deal. Because essentially it's not like you would have to buy a game and then you put it on your system. Microsoft does give away free games already now if you have Gold. They do give away, the Xbox 360 games free. You can download them on the Xbox One. So I think you're definitely absolutely positive that they should do something with PlayStation Now, combining that and Plus, because it doesn't make any kind of sense. But we'll see about that. But no, that's pretty much all I have to say about Sony. You guys have any other thoughts? I think we said a lot about pretty much every company. So
shout out to Russell from Not For Critics, because he swears up and down that Ape Escape 4 is going to get announced. That's his thing. So I'm going to let him have that.
Well, I hope you escaped after he said that.
Hey, maybe. Hey, listen, why not? Why not? It could happen. Anything can happen. I think now after the last Sony conference, anything can happen. Because I damn sure wasn't expecting Shenmue to get announced. So that's
man. I still remember when I found out that information. We was in like this burrito place, and somebody showed me a tease of a forklift, and I about lost my shit. Man, Shenmue was my favorite game. Like arguably of all time, but on my list, it was #1, and I love it so much. I cannot wait for this game to come out. I probably got to wait a whole another year. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna say too, because last year was such a big year. The announcements were incredible last year, and Charles was there to see it all live. But this year, I feel like they're not gonna live up to that. I don't think this year can top what they did last year. So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be very hard for that to top for quite a while. But I mean we'll see what happens. I mean again, a lot of those games were announced. Just to know that there's a release date for Last Guardian will be helpful. So now you can confirm, it is coming out. It's coming out on this day. And to know a release date for Shenmue, I mean, that is what I think people are waiting for now. So we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be very hard to top last year, but I don't think this year is going to be horrible. It's just, it's more interesting. It's definitely interesting for Microsoft because I had no idea what new game they could announce. So,
true. Oh, they'll probably show Halo Wars 2 also. I don't think we mentioned that.
Oh yeah, we didn't. You're right. Yeah. You're right. They are going to show that because that's actually going to be playable at the show. So yeah, they are because they did announce that on the Halo blog recently. So yeah, they are going to show that.
And they might have crossplay. I wonder if they'll do that.
Yeah,
I think
it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
They should have that. I look forward to that.
You think they're going to announce Halo 5 on PC?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, and go ahead, Gary. What was you gonna say?
I really want them to announce Halo 5. I don't think they'll do Gears because I feel like they're gonna stick to the whole it releases first on Xbox One, the console, and then later.
Here's the thing though. I would think that makes sense, but I do think that with Forza, whatever that Forza game is, that definitely gonna be a day and date release on PC also. That's what my guess would be. And they will play up the fact that you can play with people on PC and vice versa. So that will be what the selling point that they will use as to why you will want to get it on day one. To answer that question though about Halo 5, I think they will announce Halo 5 on PC, but they will do so at the very end so that the boos can be edited out of the broadcast. All of that stuff can be edited out. For those that are there in person, no, they'll hear them. But yeah, for everybody watching at home, they'll edit all that stuff out. So
they'll be like, okay, by the way, people, we're releasing Halo 5 on PC. Peace out.
That's it. Yep. Good night, and then you'll hear a whole bunch of boos. Yeah. But we'll hear that there at the place, but everyone at home will hear cheers. So yeah. So we'll see. But pretty much went through all topics. So that's it for our predictions. Again, as I already said, there's going to be a lot more that we'll probably know more details about a lot of the stuff that we already mentioned by Thursday, so we'll definitely mention that on the Throwdown show. There will be some more stuff that happens between now and then. So that actually concludes this week's show. We want to once again thank Mr. Charles Singletary for joining us.
No problem whatsoever, man. I'll definitely join whenever I can. I love being on the co-op, dude.
Yeah, we love having you on the co-op. So, you like to give any final shout-outs, plugs, etc.?
Follow me on Twitter at @the_CSJR. Of course, I'm still doing the hip hop podcast, the Knights of the Turntable. Follow that on Twitter at KOTT Show. And we have SoundCloud. We post it on SoundCloud. We post the actual episodes of the show on iTunes as well. And when we do first impressions of the different albums, those will be posted on the Coalition's YouTube. And of course, one more time, follow Not For Critics. Subscribe to that on YouTube, and you can follow Going Indie Book at Going Indie Book on Twitter. And that's it, man.
Sounds good. Yes, definitely follow and subscribe.
Word.
Okay, Gary, any shout outs for you? Final words?
Yeah, shouts to all the listeners, Wesley, Corey Dillon, all the people that listen every week, Final Stage Boss, all of you guys, thanks for your comments and everything. And shouts to the Patreon supporters, Gority and M. Collins. And remember, if you do choose to donate as little as $1, you get lots of perks and benefits like being entered into our giveaways, and you automatically get into our Facebook VIP group, which we're going to be giving away codes and all things like this, and we have a lot of interesting discussion and debates on there too. So it's worth being in that. But ultimately, thanks for just listening and supporting us. We've been here what, 8 years, Rich? So
Yeah, man. It's
thanks for all
been
the support.
it's been a while. So, well, I've been with the site since 2009. You guys been, I think you guys started about a year before me. So it's been a
Yeah,
while, almost 10 years. So I will hope that when we hit the 10-year mark, some major stuff will be going down.
yeah, man. That's it from me.
Okay, yeah. So I do want to give a shout out to all the listeners. Thanks, Charles, again for being on the show this week. Um,
No problem.
Especially want to give a shout out to Final Stage Boss. I had no idea you lived in Atlanta. We need to talk because I'm in Atlanta. So it's kind of ridiculous that we haven't had a conversation yet. But we will be talking about that. For those that are going to the PlayStation event, the theater screening, definitely let us know about it because I know we posted up about that the other day. The locations that it's going to be in. So definitely let us know your experience as well. As for those who, as I already said at the beginning of the show, we will be at E3 next week. So I'm not really quite sure what our schedule will be in terms of podcasts. I can say you'll see a lot of our thoughts and impressions of stuff that we've played there at the show. But just stay tuned because we'll talk more about that. Maybe we'll have more to say about that on Thursday's Throwdown, just to give you guys a better understanding of when we're going to be recording. But thank you all for the continued support. We hope that you guys have a great rest of the weekend, a great week ahead, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.